Hello, everybody. I'm back. It's 𝗬𝗏𝗧𝗏 here, as promised, at the top of the hour, with number 2 in this series of 9 photo appreciation sessions, followed by a little look, actually quite a good look, today at the masterclass, my photography smartphone masterclass, which is coming up. So this is me, same shirt, different lighting, because I'm doing 2 of these today. And I'm going to launch straight into it. It's going to be about 30 minutes, first 20 minutes, appreciation on a couple of my photos, so a couple of points about those, and 9 of your photographs from the 5-day smartphone challenge, which we did a little while ago in our photography group. So I'm going to launch straight in. That's the deal. 20 minutes of content on photographs, 10 minutes of content, if you're interested, on the masterclass that is coming up starting Monday, including the early bird pricing, the details of what's in it, what you will get by the end. So stick around for that, and let's launch straight into the show. I'm going to start with a photograph of mine, then 9 of yours, and then 1 of mine to finish with. So this was a recent selfie, you could call it, self-portrait. I do these series of perturbing self-portraits, as I call them. I also call them creative disintegration. I've got this theme, you see. I take a self-portrait of some sort every 10 days. So I publish it every 10 days. And the idea is the photographic, the creative challenge is for no self-portrait ever to be the same. You might think it's a bit egotistical to take pictures of myself, but I'd say there's 2 reasons which aren't that egotistical. One is it's quite nice to leave a memory for others. And it's actually a good way of coming to terms with life and what happens at the end of life. Because if you're regularly creating over the weeks, months, and years, you see what's happening to you, and you kind of try to appreciate that. At least I do. And the other reason is that it's a real creative challenge. And I'm always there. When I need a subject, well, I look around and lo and behold, there I am. So that's an interesting project that you could do. Try to take regular self-portraits in a creative way. And don't make any of them the same as any others. It's a good challenge. So this one, I would say there are a couple, 2 or 3 interesting aspects to this. I can assess my own photographs, it's okay. So one of them is there's a reflection, and that's always cool. I think reflections are so cool. By the way, practically everything I mention in looking at these 11 photographs is stuff that you will learn in the smartphone photography masterclass. We will go into depth in many of these things. So if I mention a word like reflections, you could guess that it's actually an entire training. You know, it could be a 20 or 30-minute training on reflections. So these are giving you little tips, little hints. So it's kind of a warm-up for people who are doing the masterclass to get in the mood, to understand how deep photography can go. And it's also for you guys, if you're not doing the masterclass, just to enjoy some photo analysis from me on your photographs. Anyway, there's a reflection. That's always cool. There's some text. Now, this is interesting. The thing is for me to interact with the text somehow. So it says it's a book in a kind of spooky little library in Shakespeare and Company in Paris, the oldest, the most famous English language bookshop in Paris. And I go up to their little library every time I'm there. I pick a book almost at random. And then I take a self-portrait with it, and I try to get in the mood of it. So it's a kind of spooky book, Witches Breed. So I put a kind of scary look on my face as I'm reading it, as though I'm reading some horrors. And finally, there's an interesting background. You know, it's old books. It's like that old wooden beams there, and I added a special effect which adds even more to the picture. So that's my little analysis of that one. Let's move on to yours. So these are from, whose foot is this? There's something afoot. So this is still from day 1 and a little bit of day 2 of the photo challenge. And day 1 was looking down with your camera, looking up, or putting your camera down and shooting, or putting your camera up and shooting. Well, can you guess what this one is? Apart from it being a foot? Well, I'd say she's shooting up. It's Alice's foot. Well, it's Alice's photograph. Maybe it's someone else's foot. I don't know. And I chose this as an example for a couple of reasons. One is that it's very simple. You've only got 4 elements. You've got the leg and foot, you've got the trees, you've got the sky, and you've got maybe some sort of canopy or umbrella. 4 simple elements. They're all almost pure color, aren't they? Beige on the leg, sort of another type of beige on the umbrella, blue and green. So it's actually quite a simple photograph. Graphically, it's interesting. In the space where the top left-hand corner is covered by the umbrella thing, the bottom left and middle is covered by the trees, the open sky has the foot in it. So it's not just an entire open sky, the foot is surrounded by the sky. So for all of these reasons, I think it's a cool picture. And she did it. She went for it, and that counts for everything. And if you imagine, in photographs, I look for things that make me think, hey, what's going on there? So if you think about this, feet are normally on the ground. So in the sky, you normally have birds and stuff. So to have a foot in the sky, bam, it's more interesting than your average shot. And that's what I'm about. And that's what you learn on the masterclass. Sorry if I say that a lot, but it's true. Next. Just keep an eye on the time here. How are we doing? Oh, right. So this one is from Angela, and I kind of call it washing, but it's much nicer than washing, isn't it? It's a beautiful shawl or some sort of wrap, turquoisey sort of color against a very similar turquoisey blue sky. And you've got a little thing at the top, which frames the top of the shot. And you've got the thing at the bottom, which is green. Almost a hint of possibly sea on the bottom left there. But the thing is, the shot is dominated by the shawl thing. It's billowing in the wind. The subject is the shawl, that's clear. You know, it's not a tiny thing on a washing line. That would be another photograph. So I love the movement. I really do like that movement. And the fact that the color of the shawl is echoed and the pattern almost is echoed in this sort of ribbed clouds here. If you see that, the sort of the flowers on the shawl are kind of ribbed, and the sky echoes that. And there's this lovely billowing, and it fills in the bottom left corner there nicely. And you've got the quite characterful washing line, actually. So I like that a lot. And I think she's below it. It's billowing over her, and she's looking up slightly. Great, thanks for that, Angela. Next one. This is from Rob. It's a tree, but you don't normally see trees like this, do you? I mean, you do see trees, but how often are you right at the bottom of the trunk with your neck craned, probably, looking up? Remember, when we look at photographs, we're looking at them normally as though we're looking at something ahead of us. So when you look at a picture of a tree, you often expect it to look tree-shaped. Whereas what we've done is he's actually looking up into the sky, but now we're looking at it straight on. So it's strange, it's curious. This is the beauty of angles. Angles is obviously an entire training. And you see things that you don't normally see. When you think of a tree, you think, well, I think of a kid's picture, you know, little trunk like this and a kind of brown, green blob. But that's not really what trees are, especially if you change your angle. So here you've got a kind of triangle. Look at it, it's a triangle, a brown triangle with bits sticking out of it. It also tapers off nicely to the top left-hand corner. That positioning, that composition is very pleasing to the eye. And there's little bits of blue showing through the green. So it's actually a very nice photograph. It's not a complicated photograph, and yet it's lovely because it's not how we normally see trees. So thanks for that, Rob. Next one. We're still on the camera up, camera down type of thing. This is Carol. Hello, Carol. Now, Carol chose to point down, but not just at any old down. Now I'm always looking for double things in pictures, not just one thing, not just a picture of a thing. Okay, so here, do we have that? Well, yes, we do, because we have the railings and we have the shadow of the railings. And in some cases, the shadow is actually more impressive than the railings, than the thing that's being shadowed. There was a great example of that. I'm not sure where it is. I'll try and fit it in next time. I can't remember which theme it was in. She's got in really close, which means the pattern dominates. We're not looking at railings here. We are, but we're not. you know, if you pull back and there's the railing and there's the stuff around it. No, you've gone in. The closer in you get on an object, the more the pattern starts to dominate as opposed to what the object is. So here you've got a double thing. You've got the lines going down, the lines going across. They meet at that slash going from the top middle right down to the bottom left. It's a slash. There's other ones. There's one in the middle of the railings. There's one at the top of the railings. There's one on the edge of that path thing, and there's one on the shadow. So it's a very dynamic photograph, and it's great. We're moving away from just taking snaps of stuff to getting more artistic. And that was just with one prompt. That was just with me giving you one prompt. So good stuff. And this one is from Tzila. She's going to tell me how to pronounce her name one day. But I'm going for Tzila. That's what I understood. And it's leaves on the sky, in the sky. There's a hint of the sun, isn't there? A little hint of the sun. Now, this is a very simple photograph. She's looking up. That was the brief. And it's so simple. There's only two things. There's blue and there's green and the twigs. And but that simplicity is absolutely beautiful. There's a third element, and that is, there's two. Actually, I could probably give you, you know me. I can ramble about photographs. But what pleases me as well about this is that there's a kind of an arch here. Can you see that? There's a kind of an arch. And when I see arches, I want something in the arch. Is there anything in the arch? Well, as it happens, there's a hint of the sun, isn't there? Can you see that? There's what looks like the sun just out of shot. Isn't it interesting to not put the sun in a shot? So that for me is enough. Very simple, elegant, pure. You could almost call it a pure photograph. And is it lacking a subject? Is it a bit bland? Well, is nature bland? Maybe in our busy lives, we'd actually love to have a picture on the wall. We just look at it. You imagine you're closed in a building and you looked up at that and you saw a beautiful blue sky with the sun rising maybe and some lovely green leaves. So it's great. I really like it. Next. Now this is from Vivienne. Vivienne, and it's, well, can you see what it is? I prefer to ask more questions than to talk when I'm teaching or training or coaching. But in this case, well, there it was. There was the question. Can you see what it is? You probably can pretty quickly. But isn't it interesting? Think of angles. What angles can you see? What lines? Well, I can see immediately, I see a strong line there with a kind of fork. So that's already quite interesting. And there's the picture, of course. And look at these other two angles. There's these two things coming out at us at this very, this very sort of extreme angle. And you think, what on earth is that? And of course, she's looking directly up at the underside of a banister. How often do you do that? How many photographs have you taken with that weird a view? And there it is. I mean, I could have chosen a few of hers. I chose this one because it's quite simple. And I love the angle on the banister. It just shows how different you can make something look by changing the angle. What would banisters and railings normally look like? They'd look like a row of things, like of posts like this, wouldn't they? Boom, 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 boom. Because we normally take stuff looking straight ahead. Well, it's the same railings and the same banister, and yet it's completely different. And there's a kind of repetition. I'm just spotting it. You look at the banisters, the banister sticks are kind of going like that, and further over is the kind of sideways V of the edge of the corner of the wall and the corner of the ceiling. So that might not seem like a lot to you, but these little details are everything if you want to go to the next level in your photography. Thanks, Vivienne. And apparently this picture is beloved to her. I haven't got the story of why, but this picture, is it a cow? Is a beloved picture to her. All right, now we're going to move over to no, we're still in the looking down and looking up. And then the last two shots are moving over to day 2. This is from Reinhold. And I really like this. Kind of for the reasons I like Vivienne's. Now, let me just say one thing to you. I don't have to like it for it to be good. Because remember, my definition of good for any photograph, the first definition is, if the person who took it likes it, then it's good. When you take a photograph, you're creating something that didn't exist before. There are no rules. Okay, You can play with rules. You can say, you know, well, if I apply this rule, how is it? But over and above rules is, do you like the picture? Now, in my masterclass, I give you tons of ways of making your photographs more impressive to you and to others, by the way. But that doesn't mean that you can't take a simple photograph, like it, and that's all the validation you need. So I go into all this sort of stuff, you know. So why do I like this? Because it's simple and there's a repetition. The simplicity is because there's only 3 shades, really, 3 main shades. There's the very dark of the shadow. There's the mid-gray of the ground. And there's the light, very light gray. Yeah, you could say white, but it's not, is it? It's very light gray of the lines. The second reason I like it is because there's a repetition of the V. There's one V like this. And if you look at the legs, the shadow of the legs, there's another V which kind of complements it. So that's cool. There's a foot, so there's a bit of personalization in there. And there you go. So let me move on to the next one. And the next one is from Thomas. And, and this is a mystery. So this was fun. It's a mystery because as part of this lesson, I said, so it was getting in close. That was the thing, getting close and see what happens. As part of that, one of the hints I said was you could imagine one of those contests like in magazines I used to have as a kid. There'd be a thing, an everyday thing taken from close up. You know, it could be something like this, or you know, the edge of the very, very, very edge of something, and you have to guess what it is. So that was what he was doing, and we tried. My first guess, which I think was by far the most interesting, was that it was a varnished prehistoric dinosaur turd. But I didn't get much of a reaction for that. I was disappointed. I will show you what it is. Now, in terms of getting in close, it's the object and a plain background. You can't get much purer than that. And it was fun. We had people guessing, trying to work out what it is. Do you know what it is? 3, 2, 1. I'll click on the thing I should click on. There you go. So it's this door handle, and it's a pretty funky door handle, isn't it? So there you go. Looking for details. Interesting. He chose the one which is on the orange and not the one which was against the white, which could have been interesting as well, but it might have given away too many clues, I guess. Right, one more in this, and then I'll tell you about my last photograph, and then we'll look at the masterclass. So this one is from Ronnie, I do believe. So Ronnie contributed this, which is absolutely beautiful. We're on the in close theme. Let me make it bigger. I can't quite get it all in, but almost. You see that? Isn't that beautiful? Now this is actually the topic of a training on the masterclass, which is very interesting. And the topic is high key and low key. And this is high key. And I won't say any more than that. You know, we don't have time. This is an absolutely gorgeous high key image. And it's so soft. It doesn't show the whole thing. We kind of know what it is, but because it doesn't show the whole thing, it's more intriguing than just a picture of a flower. Plus, it's ever so soft. There's no dark areas at all, except this one tiny little bit in the bottom right, which is fine because, you know, to have a tiny thing which draws the attention is great. I love the way these bits at the top, there's an ever so delicate fold there, isn't it? Where 2 petals meet and there's a tiny little space, another petal behind. And then there's this little bit of stamen thing sticking up in the bottom left. And this intriguing little, maybe it's an insect or something, I don't know. So this was stunning shot. Absolutely love it, Ronnie. Thanks for contributing that. All right, so I'm up to 20 minutes. I'll have a look at a couple of comments. Why not? For the next 10 minutes, I'm yours to talk about. Hello, Dorothy. How are you doing? Dorothy says, worm. Was that you wondering, trying to work out what the prehistoric lacquered cow dog turd was? So now I'm going to take 10 minutes. If you know this stuff, if you've booked up on the masterclass, you can go. It's okay. I won't be offended. But let me tell you about this amazing masterclass. It's unique, which is coming up starting on Monday, and I would love you to be a part of it. So what I'm going to do is stop sharing this. I'm going to share another screen and tell you what's happening starting from Monday. And this is kind of the warm up to it. Yeah. Just trying to get the right thing here. Yeah, so this masterclass is literally my entire life. I'm 55 and I've been taking photographs in Paris. I've lived in Paris for more than 25 years. I've been taking photographs of Paris for longer than that, and in general in other countries for longer than that. So this is a huge part of my life, images and words and creativity itself. So it's a passion, and I've put everything into this masterclass. My objective for this masterclass, amongst other things, kind of global objective, is for you to never ever need another training on photography unless you want to go deeply into a specific type of photography. That doesn't mean you can't take another training and enjoy it, but I want this to be all you need to go forward based on what you've learned, a fantastic portfolio of photographs, and then do your own thing. And you're not alone anyway, because you've got me, you've got the smartphone masterclass, the smartphone group, that'll be there forever and stuff like that. And Despina is kindly saying, 55 years old. Oh my God, you look like 65. Yeah, well, maybe I'm using the wrong cream or something. So let me tell you about this. Here we go. I actually tried to organize myself again. You know me. I look chaotic on the outside, but in fact, I'm chaotic on the inside, except the masterclass isn't chaotic. It's just incredibly stuffed with stuff. So I'm looking for... So I'm going to tell you about actually, I'm going to do something. It might be irritating, I don't know, but this is the address you need to go to. So the Smartphone Photography Masterclass intro. And I start by saying, accept your mission. So you decide to accept a mission. I'm going to go down on this page to the mission. It would make a bit more sense, because this is I promise you a certain outcome. And that's not like most courses. They don't promise you anything, or they promise you something vague, or they kind of hope that you'll be happy with it and won't say that you didn't like it. I promise you that, well, basically, you're going to do the photographing and you're going to do the learning, but I'm there. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, and you will if you do the masterclass, that's kind of the deal, is to develop your photographer's eye. More about that in a minute. Master your smartphone camera and produce a superb collection of original photos under 9 inspiring themes in just 9 weeks. And the outcome of that may well be that you impress your friends and are extremely proud of the outcome. So that's your mission. You've got a mission. And I give you a way of knowing when you've reached it. You're not left alone. You are looked after every single step of the way. And the end of the program is you reaching your mission. What is the mission? It's a superb portfolio of photographs, as I said, as it says. And let me show you. So there's 9 themes. There's a theme per week, a photo theme per week, but there's several trainings per week. But also there's a theme that you shoot to per week. And that theme teaches you stuff. Of course it does. You get out there, you have fun, you share your photographs, you're in pods. So you have friends in the masterclass that you communicate with apart from me. So let me just quickly show you a couple of the galleries, because you have a gallery. Oh, I'm jumping ahead here. Hang on a second. Let me do something else. Before I show you the gallery, I wanted to say, why would you do this masterclass? Who's it for? So I thought of 2 or 3 reasons. And I hope they're reasons which resonate with you, so you know if this would be right for you or not. One is you love photography. This is any photography. I mean, I've used big cameras and bigger than this for many, many years. But when this came along, when this little devil came along, I was hooked from the minute I saw someone, one of my clients on a Paris tour, put it on the table. I'd never seen anything like it. And she opened it up and she started doing this with her finger, and the images zapped up the screen. And I thought, what is going on here? Anyway, long story short, pretty soon after that, I sold my soul to smartphones, and the rest, as they say, is history. So I'll still use the old one, but smartphones, the quality is now fantastic. You're now getting effects you used to only get on the bigger cameras. And you've got the convenience of always having it with you. And the apps are amazing. So don't worry, I'm not anti-app, I'm not a purist. I use it for all it's worth, and that's what I teach you to do. So you love photography. You want to make the most of your smartphone. You might not realize it, but you've got a superb camera in your pocket. What a shame not to use it. And you want to express yourself creatively. Now, if I am anything, it's a kind of creative fanatic. So it's not just photography and writing. It's any sort of creativity. It's the creative process and the productive process. Having amazing ideas, getting them out there. So if you're interested in expressing yourself creatively, photography is a superb way of doing it. The last module, the last core module, no. There's a module at the end of the training, which may just be the most important, and it's called Developing Your Photographer's Eye. And this is where everything you've learned before comes together, but you are able to express yourself through the photography. It's not just a bunch of techniques, it's where you come through. So anyway, if that's you, and if this is you, to create an amazing photo gallery by the end of the 9 weeks, that's the deal. Only come on the program if that's what you want, then it's the right course for you. So let me just show you these quickly. So this is, you get your own photo gallery. You can see here some of the people who did it last time. And I'm going to take you through, so this is Jen. This is one of her, you get a different gallery for each theme. So here's Jen, and just check these out. At the beginning of the program, she wasn't taking any, shots any different to anybody else. And this wasn't even, at the end of the program. This is midway through the program. She produced an absolutely stunning set of portraits. I think you'll agree. She can be absolutely, utterly proud of those. And now people are asking her to take pictures of their family and them. That is amazing. It just, it gives me chills. This is Iskra. Now, this was a color training, and she went for one of my favorite colors, which is, can you guess? Turquoise. And she produced a superb group. It's amazing how many turquoise things she found in her area. And it's not even finished. Look, it goes down to the bottom. And then the last one I'll show you is Dorothy from Sweden. And we were playing around with shapes, and just check those out. How amazing is that for a group of photographs? Absolutely beautiful. All right, so let me just quickly look through the training again. Where are we? So we've looked at the Masterclass photo gallery examples. So you'll have one of those. And now there are testimonials. I'm still putting in the written ones from last time, but I've got a group of new testimonials from this spring. Go down to the end of this shot and check out the videos. I think you'll really like it. And it may be what you need to know, okay, there's me telling you about it, but maybe this is what you need to know to get more of a feel from someone who's actually done it. So please look at those. It's down at the bottom of that page, infinitecreativitynow.com/masterphoto. Okay, so that's something to look at. Quick peek at the program. Now, the other people in the last one didn't see this. What have I done with it? I have to go back to the, I'll give you that in 1 second. I'll just show you that there's quite an in-depth program page that you can look at and have a lot of fun reading, because it's about photography, which is fun. And you'll see why you would want to do the program. Some of the false beliefs we have about our photographs, like they're crap and stuff. Well, I say that that's fine to start with, but I get those ideas out of your head. Like I said, if you think your photograph is good, then it's good. And then we can start talking about making it really amazing. So that's up to you to read. Certified experience product. Yes. Certified Experiencified training. That means that, I mean, I've got decades of experience in teaching and training. And even though I didn't realize it at the time, I was even using experiential methods to start off with. In other words, for goodness sake, make it fun, make it interesting, make it exciting, give people objectives that they can meet, give them rewards when they meet them, put them into groups, let them share, let them realize that the only failure you can possibly have is not taking part. This is all part of it. The gamification, experientification, it's probably like not like any other program that you've ever done. So there's that. And then if you chug down a little bit further, you've got the modules. So the first module is Discover the Joy of Photography. I won't go into details. And the second module, that's like an intro module, but it's still fascinating. We're still shooting photographs. Don't worry about that. Module 2 is a bit bigger. And this is Master Your Camera and Apps. There's a week on the camera and there's a week on apps. And it's, some people said it was their favorite training was in this module. Okay, module 3 is the biggie. It's in the middle. It's the core of the program. Compose your photos like a pro. You come out of that with all the tools and techniques and competence you need for the fourth module. The fourth module, you might not believe this, but the fourth module it's advanced stuff. You can't really teach developing your photographer's eye. I can show you how to start developing it, but I can't give it to you. But this module it's the top of the top, the crème de la crème. It's the deep stuff. It's allowing you to express your personality through your photographs over and above any fancy technique, which you learn in module 3. So this is beautiful. This is where my heart lies, obviously, you know. And then module 5, which is 1 week, it's the last week. It's calming down, cooling down, getting your presentations ready, because remember, you've created some fantastic portfolios. You're going to present them to the group, and maybe you're going to present them to your friends at home. Who knows? And I even go to another level and show you how to put your photographs together as a group to really look fantastic. And there are some bonuses, which I won't go into, right? Because there are bonuses, they're really cool. And there might even be an extra bonus, which isn't even in the list, but I'll let you explore that yourself. So as I said, there's the guarantee that you will be satisfied. There are the testimonials, and there's a FAQ, okay? Questions all about the thing in case you got extra questions. And what else did I want to tell you? I wanted to tell you something else. I can't remember what it was. Yes, I wanted to tell you that there's an early bird deal. And that is that if you book now in the next couple of days, I think it finishes at the beginning of the weekend, you can get a special deal, the early bird offer, which is not 497, it's 297. So you can get that if you book up now, use the code Earlybird, and that is a fantastic offer. This course is so personalized, you get so much out of it. That is absolutely fantastic. And I just wanted to finish with one thing, and that is to give you a quick look at the program in detail, but not in detail. You'll see what I mean in a second. So I'm going to go back to the photographs and I'm going to show you this. Let me get rid of that. Okay, so this is a sort of sneak at the program. And I've actually got rid of all the names of the trainings for the days, because I don't, and also the themes for the weekly themes, because I don't want you to know them. The surprise element is part of the fun. But you have got the names of the weeks there. Okay, so there's names of the modules, there's 5 modules. Each week has a theme, so there's 9 of those. And there are 3 trainings in the week, and they all have themes as well. So I'll show you the names of the weeks, okay? So week 1, what is photography? Week 2, understanding your camera. Week 3, discovering photo apps. Week 4, exposing your subject. Week 5, shadows and light. Week 6, composition toolbox. Week 7, moving into the develop your photographer's eye module, seeing the invisible. Week 8, letting creativity in. These are fantastic modules and fantastic weeks. And the last one is putting it all together in module 5. So that's the deal. That's what it is. Book up now to get your early bird price. And we've already got people coming on the course, so don't wait too late. And honestly, it's my life's work. It's the only course I intend you to ever need if you want to get into photography in a big way, without, huge expenses. And the atmosphere is fantastic. And I really hope to see you in the masterclass. I also hope to see you, if you like, on the other 7 trainings, just like this one coming up. Exactly the same thing. 20 minutes of pure photo analysis, appreciation, maybe critique, and 10 minutes just like this for those of you who haven't seen it. So I will see you again tomorrow, maybe, and look forward to talking more about photographs. And if you want to come on the masterclass, which I think you should, go to infinitecreativitynow.com/masterphoto, and I'll see you on the other side, as they say. Bye for now. Oh, actually, I have a comment. Do I have any more comments? It's 𝗬𝗏𝗧𝗏. It's 𝗬𝗏𝗧𝗏 saying hello and not believing my age. Of course, I was joking. She says, I look like 44. But there is a question mark. You look like 44? We'll leave it at that, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye for now.